Cozy. Hello beauties, welcome back to another boho set video. And can you believe it took me and my assistant 2 hours to do this? And the reason why it was so fast to install is because of this hair that I was sent. These are pre-made boho braids that are on a weft, so you can easily sew it into your head. Very DIY friendly. Each braid is about 1.5 inches away from each other, and the size of the braid is around the size of a number 2 pencil. Every braid was braided perfectly, and the human hair pieces that sticked out from the braid were very soft. There was 3 total on each braid, and the braid was secured with a thread piece which seemed to hold up really well. The curl pattern on these pre-made boho braids are gorgeous. They are a deep wave. Overall, the construction of this braid is perfect. I love the size of the braid and how many curls is left out. I felt like it was really easy to get my client's hair very full. This is what I have left over after I finished my client's hair. I was sent 3 bundles and I used 1 bundle and 3/4 of the second bundle. The lengths that I used on my client was a 20 and 18 inch, which is basically a mid-back length. If you want to do more of a waist length, you'll need a 22 inch. Let's get into the process. So we split the head from ear to ear, just so we can have our own sections that we can get done faster. From the middle part, we're doing 2 rows on each side. That's going to help cover up the tracks. And also on the side, we're sectioning off for 2 rows. The remainder of the hair in the front is getting cornrowed towards the back. And then in the back section, I am cornrolling, going from one side to the other. It's a zigzag pattern, so I do this when I do my crochet weaves, any type of weave. It just helps me lay my tracks down flatter, in my opinion, and it helps me be able to do like a flip over method because I don't want to keep on cutting my track hair. So this is the pattern in the back. It is a total of 7 braids. As I'm cornrolling the back, I'm gathering the front cornrows and putting that into my cornrow also. Once I'm done, any loose cornrows from the front, I just crochet them within the braid. And now I'm braiding it all down. And I'm going to tuck this loose braid into the cornrows. And it just helps me get a flat foundation, so now my tracks can lay down flat. Sewing in the track hair was very easy. The clip after this is going to show you guys exactly how I did it. It took me about 1 hour to cornrow my client's hair down and 1 hour to sew on the track hair. While I was doing that, my assistant was installing in the front braids to make it look more natural. Here's my mannequin head. I cornrowed her hair down just so I can show you guys the more slower version of what just happened. So I start off by threading my needle, and I poke and thread my track hair before I even put it on the cornrow. It just helps me get through that rough, thick weft before I even put it on the cornrow. So now I put the needle through my cornrow and I just put it together. And now I don't have to go through the weft again. I can just go underneath it, but through the cornrow. This will speed up your process, and each stitch that I did was about 1/4 of an inch or 1/2 inch. Really, the closer the stitch you do, the more secure the track is. In my opinion, I'm not really a person that does weaves often, but it just helps me out a lot by doing that. With one hand, I'm holding the track close to the braid, and with the other hand, I have my needle and thread in it, and I'm just going in and out. There are many pros about this hair, but there is one con I can say that I just wish that it was added to the track hair, was probably like a strand of human hair at the base that can fill in the gaps of the braid. Like one little tiny strand that can just help fill in the gaps as you're sewing along. But yes, that's the only con that I can think of. And it is not even a huge con. You can really still do this and still have it very filled in. I just think that a little extra strand of human hair would have helped. Right here, I'm showing you guys how I sew the weft without cutting it. So basically, I continue to sew up the part where I zigzagged it at, and at the top of it, I do a knot. Once I do the knot, now I can flip the track going the other way. And then I do kind of a wide stitch, and I do that just to get the track in place and get it flat. But once I do that and I complete that stitch, I go back and half of the stitch and I just secure it. Then I will continue to sew down this cornrow, and once I get to the end of this cornrow, it will attach to the other cornrow the same way. I will lift it up and then flip it over. The only tracks that I cut was the ones in the front because I just wanted it to lay really flat. So that's how you sew down the hair. Now this right here was one bundle of the track hair, which covered half of my work. I was basically almost done. I had a little bit more to sew on the side and one more track in the back to do. For the individual braids, we did knotless, but you can either do knotless or box braids. And what we used for the individual braids is the Expression 3-pack Kids brand. And the human hair that we used was a water wave. We did our knotless braids how we normally did them. Towards the top, we tried to leave out one strand of human hair and then braid down and add 3 more. Just for an extra fullness to cover up the tracks. We matched the density of the track braid so it can look seamless. This style was really fun to do. It was really easy to do. You can even do this style with half cornrows and half track hair. I feel like that will be so user-friendly, so beginner-friendly, and you don't have to do too much with trying to cover up the tracks because the cornrows will cover it up. Or if you just don't feel like doing a full set of boho braids, this is literally the easiest way to do it. The hair is reusable, which I love that. It justifies the price because you can just use it over and over again. As long as you take good care of it, you are good to go. That is it for this video, you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.